Everybody, welcome back. Happy Monday. Today's topic is, with July 4th coming up, it's a big one. How to look great at a pool party or a bodybuilding show or a photo shoot. So basically what we'll be covering today is the last week before a big event. Okay? So how do you get yourself looking your absolute best when it matters? Okay? So, couple disclaimers. The peak week is not a miracle. Okay? In other words, you can only look very good if you look already good leading up to that week. Secondly, most people mess up during the peak week. Okay? So the majority of people actually destroy the work that they did in the 16, 20 weeks leading up to the peak week by doing something stupid, usually following some esoteric protocol that doesn't really work. So what it boils down to is that there are three components that you can manipulate. There's water, carbohydrates, and salt, right? Those three components decide what your muscles look like. So the traditional approach is such: cut the carbs by, let's say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, eat a lot of carbs, cut the water, and cut the salt. Okay? That is a disaster. It's a total disaster. It will lead to a horrible physique. So when you go on the internet and you see all these protocols for the peak week, they are so brain dead. And the reason is that people don't understand physics. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to break down the three components: water, carbs, and salt, what they all do, and how it makes sense to manipulate them so you look good at the pool party. Okay? So the first thing is carbohydrates, glycogen. They are being stored in the muscle. You want them there. The theory is, if you do a carb depletion, meaning let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday you eat zero carbs, and then Thursday, Friday a lot of carbs, there's a super compensation. So basically you're going kind of like down and then up 110%. I don't like doing that because when people eat zero carbs, they look like crap by Wednesday, and then they get all nervous. Then you get all these emails like, oh my goodness, how do I look like? What am I going to do? Am I eating enough carbs? So I prefer a much more gradual carb load. So the athlete doesn't really go below 100, and then we just go to 120% or so. Okay? So no carb depletion. Now, the one thing that's really misunderstood is water. Okay? Like, by show of hands or by show of likes, who has ever heard of like, oh, you gotta cut your water before a show or shoot or this, that, the other? Like, cutting water is a surefire way to look awful at a beach party. Okay? So, water is 70% in the cell and about 30% outside the cell, meaning under the skin. If somebody goes and stops drinking water or takes diuretics, that is A, very dangerous. People have died from diuretics. And B, the water comes out of both. So it comes out of the muscle cell and from under the skin. So you're not looking any leaner, you're just looking flatter, like a smaller portion of yourself. You have no control where the body pulls the water from. Okay? So cutting the water, A, like I said, it's extremely dangerous and it leads to a worse physique. So keep drinking water. Very often people tell me, oh Mike, I'm holding water. And the reality is, it's not water. They're just not lean enough. Okay? Water moves. So let's say in a crazy universe, you're thinking you're holding a little bit of water. You know what's the solution? You get a pump. If you get a pump, the muscle cells will pull the water in from under the skin, and ta-da, problem solved. The last component to all this is sodium. So sodium is absolutely critical. We need it to contract the muscles, a lot of other functions. When people cut the sodium, A, that's dangerous, but also your body stops excreting sodium, right? So your blood sodium levels don't change. What changed though is that a hormone that's called aldosterone goes up dramatically. That hormone is responsible for water storage, and guess what? Your blood pressure drops, there's less water in the blood vessels, and then there's more water going under the skin. So again, you have smaller muscles and more water under the skin, so you look worse. Lastly, you need sodium to store carbohydrates. If you don't have sodium, the carbohydrates get stuck in the stomach, in the small intestine. So the traditional approach is like this. People up the carbs, they cut the salt, and they cut the water. The result is you look like a spider. You have a big belly and skinny arms and legs. Okay? All the carbohydrates are here because they can't be stored in a muscle, and you look awful. So for 16 weeks you trained for this pool party or whatever have you, and now you messed it all up in 4 days because you listened to some internet guru who just doesn't know science. The better way to do it is you up the carbs a little bit and you keep water and salt as is. Okay? So I broke it down how I would approach it. So let's say your event is on a Saturday, but you can just backtrack whatever day have you. Monday, I would do chest, tries, shoulders, regular food, regular water, everything normal. Tuesday, I train back and biceps, but I would get rid of the cardio, no legs. Wednesday, just a quick pump workout. By Thursday and Friday, I would increase my carbs by, let's say, 40% from what you're normally doing, and just do a light workout, meaning your light workout to store the carbohydrates in the muscle, 20, 30 minutes, quick pump up. Then the big event, depending on the timeline, I would say meal 1, I would have some steak and potato, meal 2, white rice, and also steak, and then some chips, potato chips, which contains sodium, fat, and some of my beloved gummy bears for the sugar. Okay? So the bottom line is this. Whatever got you in shape leading up to the event, why would you change it? Okay? You keep the water as is, you keep the sodium as is, you do a moderate carb load. The main benefit or purpose of the peak week is to rest. So you don't train quite as hard, so your muscles look nice and relaxed. And then the day off, you have 1 to 2 meals, a little bit of junk before you hit the pool or the photographer or whatever it is that have you, and you show off your best, okay? There's no need to, like I said, pull out the water. There's no need to pull out sodium. Do not ever touch diuretics. Those are very, very dangerous drugs, and they do kill people. And as always, look at the science. If your muscle is made from basically water, salt, and carbohydrates, why would you pull that out? How's your muscle going to be full? It's not possible. Okay? So I wanted to give you the theory that you understand what you're doing. I hope that is clear now. On Wednesday, we'll be doing a video from the gym floor, hopefully, because we had a fire in the gym, so I'm not sure it's going to be open, but when we can, we'll do a chest workout. And if you need somebody to make you look fabulous for the beach, I'm your guy, okay? As always, thank you for watching, and see you Wednesday, guys.